A traffic stop turns into an exchange of gunfire between a Fort Myers police officer and a 19-year-old. The suspect behind bars, and now people living nearby say they're in fear for their lives. A year later, and a family still pleading for answers in their son's murder. The Bonita Springs teen shot and killed in his own home. What his family is doing in hopes more information will lead to his killer. And for the first time, we're hearing from the man who was attacked by an alligator while he was diving for golf balls in Charlotte County. Fox 4 News at 10 starts right now.
Live from Southwest Florida's news source, this is Fox 4 News at 10.
We'll get to those stories in just a moment, but first, we're following breaking news in London. Right now, there's a fire burning through the Camden Market. Thanks for choosing Fox 4 News at 10. I'm Lisa Greenberg. At least 8 fire trucks and 60 firefighters racing to the scene. The area is now closed off to traffic, and it's unclear if anyone is still inside or if there are any injuries. Now, witnesses say the fire engulfed much of this building in just minutes. This is happening just 1 month after a fire engulfed an apartment building in the area and took close to 100 lives. All new tonight, an officer-involved shooting leading to the arrest of a 19-year-old Bonita Springs man. Bernie McClellan is behind bars tonight, accused of shooting at a Fort Myers police officer. The officer then returned fire. This all happening early this morning when the officer tried to pull him over for a traffic stop. 4 in your corner, Sam Sosa live on MLK Boulevard and Michigan Link, where this all went down with the details. Sam?
Lisa, as you said, this all started with a traffic stop that happened not far from where we're at right now. Fort Myers police say McClellan refused to stop, sped off, and then crashed into a car in this intersection that's behind me right now. Once the officer caught up to him, others were fleeing the car, and officials say McClellan pulled out a gun and opened fire on the officer. Police say the officer shot back, hitting some of the suspects. It's unclear how many, but 2 people were quickly taken into custody while 3 others took off on foot. That's when an extensive search started in the area. Officers blocking off several streets in the Renaissance Preserve apartment complex. One resident didn't want to be identified but tells me what she saw.
I had pretty much every corner blocked off. Just had the cops there, and then I came outside to see what's going on, and they yelled at me to tell me to go inside. And they had the helicopter out here and everything. It was big scene. They were out here for quite a while too, for about 2.5 hours.
Well, officers did find the 3 missing suspects a few minutes away on Raleigh Street. McClellan is being charged with a bunch of things: attempted murder, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, discharging a firearm in public, and aggravated felony fleeing and eluding. FDLE came out to the scene per FMPD's request. It's not out of the ordinary to see any outside agency investigating anytime there's been an officer-involved shooting. And as standard procedure, the officer has been placed on administrative leave pending the outcome of this investigation. This is a developing story, and we're going to bring you all the details as we get them. For now, I'm live in Fort Myers. Sam Sosa, Fox 4 in your corner.
Thank you so much, Sam. Now, more than a half a dozen guns stolen from a Lee County deputy's patrol car, and tonight we're learning 3 teen boys are responsible. A 16, 17, and 14-year-old are now facing charges in connection with this case. On July 2nd, the sheriff's office said a pair of handcuffs, a deputy belt, and 7 personal and work-related weapons were taken from a deputy's locked, unmarked car, which was parked in his driveway at home. Detectives have recovered some of that stolen property, but are still searching for the rest. They say this is still an active investigation. Meanwhile, dozens of investigators were seen swarming a Southwest Cape Coral neighborhood yesterday searching for evidence. And deputies tell us this was related to a recent investigation. This all went down near Southwest 29th Street and Chiquita Boulevard. Deputies searched on the ground while divers searched the canals in the area. And investigators say there is no danger to the public. We'll be sure to keep you updated as more information becomes available in this case. A man arrested in Collier County after he crashed into a guardrail on Capri Boulevard and fled the scene, but he left his passenger behind. 4 in your corner's Catherine Marsh tells us what else he did and why deputies say he left. Catherine?
Lisa, deputies say this happened on the night of the 4th of July. When deputies arrived on the scene, they found a female passenger in the car and her face was bleeding. Deputies discovered the driver, identified by the woman as this man, Brian Jessup, had fled the scene, as she told Collier County Sheriff's Office. Jessup was distracted and drifted on the side of the road, striking the guardrail head on. Deputies say his car was significantly damaged. The passenger told investigators she saw Jessup drinking a few beers before he drove that night and says he fled the scene to avoid getting in trouble. Yesterday, 4 days later, deputies found Jessup. He told investigators he'd fallen asleep in the woods and didn't realize deputies were looking for him. They say he caused an estimated $1,000 in damage to the guardrail and is charged with leaving the scene of an accident. Catherine Marsh, Fox 4, in your corner.
Thank you, Catherine. Tomorrow marks 1 year since a teen was shot and killed in his Bonita Springs apartment, and his family continues fighting for justice. The family of 19-year-old Jordan Valero held a community event at Riverside Park today in his honor, hoping to increase the Crime Stoppers reward money for information to crack the case. As 4 in Your Corner Sam Sosa tells us, this fundraiser was actually held just blocks away from where he was murdered. She's speaking with his uncle tonight.
It's been a tough year. Mixed emotions.
Nearly 1 year since 19-year-old Jordan Valero was gunned down at his Goodwin Street home in Bonita Springs.
All around a great kid, full of love.
His family and friends unite to help track down his killer.
There isn't a playbook that tells you this is how you deal when you're faced with this in your family.
His uncle, Jose Galarza, tells me although it's been tough, the family continues fighting for justice in Jordan's case, organizing this event to raise money that'll go toward the reward for information leading to the arrest of the person responsible for Jordan's murder. But his uncle tells me this goes beyond Jordan's case. It's about community, hoping their strides to help solve Jordan's murder will inspire others to take action.
Some people in the community can kind of mirror some of the efforts that we've done and get their loved ones' murders or crime solved.
The fight isn't over, but the family is confident they'll find closure in this case.
We're strong before, we're a stronger family now. And we're not going to stop until we get justice.
In Bonita Springs, Sam Sosa, Fox 4, in your corner.
And the Crime Stoppers reward for this case was already more than $5,000. And even after today's event, it's expected to be even more. So if you have any information that could help solve this case, you can call 1-800-780-TIPS, or you can use the P3 Tips app. And remember, you don't have to give your name. And take a look at this video of flooding in Collier County. You can see this man here. The water's past his ankles. He's coming up there in just a second. He's getting into his car. This happened on Davis Boulevard and Commercial Drive today. Thanks to Fox 4 viewer Philip Madigan for sending this in to us. Take a look at that, Tony. I mean, my goodness, lots of water in Naples there.
Yeah, absolutely. Very impressive stuff. I mean, that water came down heavy and it came down very fast. I'm talking just within 2 hours, parts of Naples got, close to 3 inches of rain, breaking a record for the day. To the previous record, just a little bit over 2 inches back in 1960. So certainly a ton of rain, and that's what prompted that flood advisory that was in effect for Collier earlier. And you could really see that bullseye was basically just over Naples. You travel a little further south and you're probably like, I didn't see that stuff. Up towards Pelican Bay, just about an inch further inland. Some parts didn't even get any rain as well towards Golden Gate. Also saw some rain in Fort Myers, Cape Coral, generally about a half of an inch or so also into Charlotte County. Right now we do have a little bit of rain just north of Lee County into Charlotte. We'll continue tracking that as well as have your full work week forecast in just a few. Lisa.
Thank you, Tony. A 71-year-old woman bitten by a 10-foot alligator in Fort Myers. Here's a photo sent to us by San Carlos Park Fire District. This happened at the Shadowwood Preserve. They say she was taken by Lee Flight to the hospital, and at last check, FWC was responding to the scene. It's unclear what they were planning to do with that alligator. Tonight, we're hearing from the man who was also attacked by an alligator, this time at a golf course in Charlotte County. Officials say he was hired to remove golf balls from the ponds there. 4 in Your Corner's Aaron Mesmer spoke with the victim from his Tampa hospital room.
How you feeling?
Like a gator grabbed me.
Scott Lahoda can joke about it now, FaceTiming from his hospital bed. But 24 hours ago, his situation was as serious as it gets.
He could have ripped my arm off, or, he could have grabbed my head. And he could have drowned me.
There are so many ways things could have ended up worse when this 10.5-foot alligator attacked Lahoda Friday.
He just came and, full blast, grabbed my arm all the way back in his throat, and then he started to roll with me.
Lahodik was just doing his job. He's a professional diver hired to remove golf balls from the lakes at the Rotunda Golf and Country Club. He never saw the gator coming and had to think fast.
So I knew I had to do something, so I started punching him, up by the eye, and then he let go.
In a sudden race to save his own life, he sped to the clubhouse in a golf cart.
And I was going to lay down on the green, but I knew if I did, I didn't think I would make it.
It was really a horrendous attack.
Lahodik's wife will never forget the call from her frantic husband moments after he escaped the animal's jaws.
I got a call with him screaming on the other line with a gut-wrenching sound, telling me that he had been attacked by an alligator.
Florida Fish and Wildlife trappers caught it. It weighs between 500 and 600 pounds.
The guy's lucky he got away from him.
This was a miracle that I believe that God was protecting him.
The Lahodiks realize Scott is fortunate he's alive, but they also know the gator's bite could leave him facing more tough battles ahead.
There's probably, over 400 staples and stitches. And we're just praying that no infection sets in over the next couple days.
My goodness, could you imagine? That was Aaron Mesmer reporting. The Lahodiks are from Jacksonville, and they are expecting to have some hefty medical expenses, and their community has started a fundraiser for them online. You can go to the GoFundMe page when you search Gator Attack Survivor Needs Help on their website. A man arrested for road rage after he's accused of pointing his gun at another driver. But coming up, what this man does for a living that has other drivers surprised. A couple in the hospital tonight after their small plane crashes into a lake. Who came to their rescue when they were stuck in the cockpit? And SeaWorld officials are investigating the death of a baby beluga whale. What happened just moments before the little one passed away? You're watching Fox 4 News at 10.